Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 16th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. So just give me a few moments to finish setting this up, and then we should be good to go. So it's good. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in Premium. All right, cool. I'll give a few moments for people to make their way in. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at US30 real quick. See if I can find any news for today. All right, so today is Wednesday, November 16th. Looks like there was news at 6:15. So 5:30, 6:15, 6:50. 5:30 and 6:15. I'll mark that up first. Hey, Peter, morning. Morning, sir. Aussian, 5:30 and 6:15. Actually, a lot of news today. 5:30, 6:15. Not too long ago, right here. All right, looks good. Yeah, Maddie said the 5:30 news had a gap. So yeah, I'm looking at it right here, Maddie. It's actually a really big gap. It actually came up here, right? Yeah. I don't know what's up with the data price. So I'll leave it up here. It's going to be right next to the other news price. It's just a big gap, and yeah, I'm not sure where to put it for that one. I'll just put it around there. We'll just avoid that whole area right there. There's been a lot of data issues for the charts, over the past couple of weeks, maybe past couple of months now. This typically happens a lot during the holidays because markets are closed at different times, but I don't know, in general, the market's kind of movement's been kind of weird, especially for Forex. So if you guys took the GA trade from last night, unfortunately, I was asleep when it dropped in profit. So it dropped in profit nearly to full TP right here. But then I wasn't able to move my stop loss in profit because I was sleeping, and it just ended up spiking. This candle right here was huge. It was like almost 100 pip candle. And then it ended up coming back down, and then it spiked up again, and then now it's right back down. So unfortunately, you get caught in these random price movements. People say market's not random. It's very random. So I mean, there was a news event right here. So it was the inflation rate. Of course, that's going to affect the market. But in general, the market's just kind of been all over the place, especially for US30 here. The data's kind of been all over the place too when news happens or something in the market happens. And unfortunately, sometimes you get caught in it. So It's all good. We have the Fed speaking here at 6:50, and then we have another news event at 7 o'clock. So 6:57 and 7:30, we have a lot of news today. Today's basically like Fed day, I believe. So 6:50 over here. But as I was mentioning, even though you get caught in trades like that, you just have to balance with it because it's going to happen. There's a lot of randomness in the market, whether you like to believe it or you like to just ignore it and not believe it. Randomness will happen in the market. So when you do happen to run into a trade like that, you just got to balance with it and move on to the next one. Because the thing is, if you overanalyze a trade too much, you're not going to get any. You're not getting any further. You're just going to be more upset with the trade because you're going to look for a solution, what you could have done differently, but realistically, there's not much you could have done. So, like for example, here, if you're trading US30, when news came out, this big spike happened. It's really hard for you to test this to see, what happened here. Obviously, there was news, but to really study the movement. This candle here is actually, it was a full candle up to this point right here. And then it actually, there's a day gap about 500 pips. So it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, Parker said, good morning. At some point, can you show us proper trailing? How to say proper trailing? Took a 530 high impact news. Candle retraced from his profit to his stop loss. Wanted to prevent it from happening. Yeah, sure, Parker. I'll try to go over that a little later when we have some free time. Market's going to open right now in about 10 seconds, so I can't really go over it at the moment. But if we do have some free time towards the end, I'll go over that. Just try to remind me, Parker, if I don't get to that. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. So good morning, guys. Market is now open. Let's take a look at overall bias. I think overall bias is pretty much still the same. So looking over here, overall bias is 68% short. So, not much has changed since yesterday. It's pretty much the same. Fundamentals are, assuming, neutral. Yeah, they're pretty neutral. For the most part, they're down like 60 points. So it's not a huge amount. 4 hours bullish. 1 hour is, what the hell? So the 4 hour is bullish, but the 1 hour is bearish. So we got a mixed bag today. Bullish, bearish, bearish. So I don't know if I want to take a breakout today because everything's kind of mixed. 15 minutes neutral. And the 10-minute is bearish as well. All right, so we don't really have an overall direction today. This would not be considered the breakout because it's not necessarily a strong candle. There's a big wick on top. The mark of opening price right here. So if you get a strong green candle, this would technically be the breakout. I'm not going to take a trade here because there's no overall direction. I mentioned, in the mentoring session the other day that I only take a breakout when it's very one-sided. Right here, retail sentiment 68% short, indicating that 68% of retail traders are currently selling. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Fundamentals are currently down 60 points. 4 hour trend is bullish. 1 hour trend is bearish. 30 minutes bearish. It's a mixed bag. So there's no clear direction as to where to trade. So this would technically be the breakout right here, guys. I'm not taking this trade, but I'll mark it up and we'll follow it. Just to, see where it goes. So this would technically be the breakout right there. There's a couple of red flags here. So if you guys are deciding to take a trade, be careful because there is a sessions right up here. So if price does push up, you might want to move your stop loss and profit because a lot of areas where price can easily just reverse on you, as price bounces around. So I'm not in this position here, guys. I just marked it up for you. The only time I'll take the breakout is when this here is all one-sided. Like the 4 hour has to be bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 15 minutes bullish, and a 10-minute. But as you guys can see right here, it's pretty much mixed. The 4 hour long-term is bullish, 1 hour trend. I'm surprised it's bearish because it's not super far from the 4 hour. So this is like very bear, well, not very bearish, but it's like neutral bearish because it's kind of going sideways. But for the most part, it is bearish. 4 hour right here is very bullish. You can see it's very green. 30-minute over here, it's kind of mixed. It's kind of bearish, but it's really just going sideways like the 1 hour. So there's a lot of like uncertainty here as to like where price is going. So we'll just follow it and see where it goes. This is like one of the big red flags, which would point me not to enter the trade, because the last thing I'd want to do is enter a trade, it gets halfway to profit and then ends up spiking down because it reaches the sessions right here. So, with that said, I'm going to follow it, but I'm not going to take this specifically. Also, Maddie also confirmed that TradingView is lagging a little bit per usual. So if you guys are in the position, probably a good time to move your stop loss and profit. Since we're going over this topic right now, Parker, I guess I can speak about, moving your stop loss and profit. So you're asking about how to set a proper trailing stop and full TP for the breakout. So if you guys took it, great work. If you didn't, it's okay. I didn't take it myself. I'll just give you guys an update here so that you guys can know to pull out the trade. So full TP on the US30 breakout entry live session. So if you guys look at US30 right now, you guys can see how price is kind of spiking, this big wick on top, right where the sessions is. This is where you wanted to be careful because price can really spike either way. So this could have been really good in your favor where it spiked up and hit your TP, or it could have just spiked from this point right here and could have reversed completely down. So it's just a bit of a risky trade. Main reason why I decided not to take the trade, because I don't want to get caught in that. It's like the worst feeling when you're like nearly at full TP and it ends up spiking the other way, right? So going back to your question, Parker, about the trailing stop, there's no you're saying, what's the proper way? There's no proper way to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, but there's no one specific way to do it. If your issue is placing the trailing stop, then I can help you with that, but there's no specific pips you should put your trailing stop at, right? Because if you're scalping, it depends on what your move is. If your move is a 500 pip move, you can put your trailing stop at 100 pips so that you have some leeway there. But if you're doing 100 pips, move, you don't really have the luxury of having trailing stop because you still have to cover the spread. So in order to set a trailing stop, you can set it in your trading order. I'm not sure if you're using MT4 or if you're using TradingView. If you can clarify what broker you're using, because there's different ways to do it. If you're trading on TradingView over here, I can't show you right here because I don't have a broker that uses US30, but let me go to a different pair over here. Something like this. If you were to take a trade on TradingView, you'd set your order here. If you're taking a buy, you have your stop loss here. You can set it to a trailing stop. So if you set it to 20 pips, when price moves up 20 pips, your stop loss is going to follow it. So that's how you would do it on TradingView. It's kind of similar to MT4 as well. When you're setting up your order, you're going to have a box that comes up like this when you have a pending order. And then from there, that's where you'll set your trailing stop. So Parker, if you can clarify, what's your issue with the trailing stop? Is it setting the trailing stop? Is it you don't know what your stop loss should be? Because I can kind of try to help you with it, but I'm not sure what your issue is. Is it entering the trailing stop, or is it just how many pips you should put? Because Ross over here has some input. Ross is actually one of the guys that uses the trailing stop with a lot of his trades, and he mentioned that he uses his trailing stop at 200 pips. So, that's something that you can use, but it just depends. So if you can confirm, Ross, is your problem actually setting it, or is it you need to figure out where to put your stop loss? Hey, Brock, morning. All right, so we're still looking for entries over here. Parker said, seems as if I entered it correct, but didn't cover the spread. So I think it depends on like, so it seems like your issue is like you might have put in the wrong number, like for your trailing stop. Another thing that matters is like what broker you're using, right? So if you're using FTMO, you have to add a 0 to it. So if you wanted your trailing stop at 200, you would actually have to put 2000, right? I think that might have been one of your issues. If you're using a different broker that doesn't use, the same types of point system that FTMO uses, then you'd put 200. So, I mean, it depends on which broker you're using as well, Parker. For FTMO, you have to add a 0 though. So you'd have like, say you wanted a 200 pip stop loss. Instead of putting 200 in there, you add a 0 because you have to account for the .0 at the end. So it'd be 2000, even though it means 200 pips. But if you're using something like Hugo's way, the points are different. So you put, actual 200 from my knowledge. I don't know exactly what number you put because I never use a trailing stop on Hugo's way or any other broker, but for FTMO, you have to put a 2000 instead of 200. So yeah, like what Ross said, he said if he's taking a breakout at 500, he uses a 200. If he's using it on a smaller scalp, he'll use a smaller trailing. Gotcha. Yeah. So Parker said he's using FTMO. He thinks he missed the 0. Yeah. So that's what it is, Parker. Because I made the same problem before too. You just got to add a 0 to it. So if you do that in the future, that should help you. It's actually good for the breakout. So like if you took this trade right here, I would probably use a trailing stop of like 100 or 200 pips. So when price did push up, it would have followed my trade up in profit. So, all right, guys, back to the charts over here. There's nothing for us to take right now. I'm looking for a high-low momentum pivot scalp. It's the main thing I'm looking for here. There's just an issue right here. There's not really much room to trade because we have sessions right here, and then we have news price down here. So I need price to push above here, retest, and continue. If I get something like this right here, then great. I can take my entry, somewhere down the middle. But I can't take that right now because there's just too many red flags around here. So we just got to sit tight, be a little patient. We got news coming up over here at, not really news, but we have the Fed speaking at 650. So hopefully this will cause price to push up or push down. Doesn't really matter where. I can take trades in whichever direction. So I want to make sure it's in the direction of trend. So the trend right now is currently bullish on the short term. Reason for that are that the pivots are angling up. The red pivot over here, level 4, is on the bottom with all the other pivots above. Trend meter is green. So we're looking for buys here, right? We have a pending buy signal coming. However, the problem with this is if we do get a buy signal, it's going to get caught right here at the sessions. So we got to let this push up a little more before we can take that entry. So it's got to be patient, guys. 640 right now. We've only been in the market for about 10 minutes. So there's no rush. We still have about an hour left. It's really just waiting for this entry to come up here. So there goes a buy signal. Unfortunately, we can't take this here for the buy. As I mentioned, the sessions is literally right there. Yeah, it's not an entry we can take at the moment. Looks like it's going to fit criteria too. Or not. So it actually didn't push up high enough to really meet criteria at that point. It's still right down the middle. Yeah, Maddie also said, blocky movements right here. So I'm not going to take this trade here. If it closes, I'll mark it up and we'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it because it's right at the sessions. So this right here would have been our entry. Unfortunately, would have been a nice entry straight to TP, but it was right at the sessions. So as you guys can see, strategy works perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with the strategy here. It's just riskier area. So play out perfect right there, full TP. If you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. It's right at the sessions. So got to wait for another one. What I'm looking for here is a bigger push back up. So push up, retrace, continuation. But this here would have been the high-low momentum pivot scalp. Identify momentum signal, buy signal right there. Confirm momentum rejecting off high-low zone. Zone's right here. Confirm you're trading in the direction of the trend. bullish trend right here. Everything lines up. You take a trade right there, full TP. Yeah, Maddie said on it too. So it's all good. Just wanted to show you guys, if it's a risky trade, I'll follow it. Probably won't take it, but I'll follow it and we'll see where it goes. You can see exactly where price rejected from directly off that red line right there, right? Big wick off the red line. This is why we avoid trades at the sessions, because the sessions is an area of manipulation, right? You can see it happen right here too, fake out. Price came above it, faked out right there, came back down. So you definitely want to avoid trades at these sessions, especially on the lower time frames, because price does respect these sessions very highly. All right, cool. Price broke above it. This is perfectly fine. This is what we wanted. So we got price above here, kind of wanted to push up a little higher. A little higher so we can get somewhere around here in the middle. All right, so we just got to wait for this to push up a bit. The Fed's going to start speaking at 6:50 right here, and we have news at 7 o'clock. So I'm just going to wait for it, see where it goes. Man, that would have been a good entry right there. Still thinking about it. It's all good. Fed member, let's see, says asking who's speaking. Fed member Williams speaking at 6:50. Check my FX book, see if there's any other news here. No, pretty much the same thing. 6:57, 7:30. So we got the same news coming up over here on my FX book as well. Yes, that said, I don't know how this manipulator acts on the market. Yeah, I have no idea either. I mean, the Fed's going to talk about inflation, and the inflation news came out, so we'll see, what he's got to say, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a good chance that he's probably going to push price higher because, in the news, they mentioned that, inflation is reaching its high point. So if you've been following the news, regarding the US economy, they did mention that, inflation is reaching its high point. They're also going to discuss how interest rates are starting to drop. I think they dropped like 1% this week. So I think they'll probably push price up higher. So, we'll see. I don't have any entries to take right now anyway, so we'll see where price goes. But yeah, interest rates are dropping. Inflation is technically, or as they say, it's reached a high point. But another thing that's going on in the news is that Trump has announced his bid for presidency for the next race. So, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, if you guys follow the news, there's actually a lot of stuff that happened yesterday. I know not everyone here follows the news, but Trump did announce his bid for presidency. So that's going to affect the market, of course, because he's going to be saying all this outlandish stuff during his campaign. Also, if you guys saw that the missiles from Russia hit Poland, some of you guys saw it, some of you guys might have not saw it. Some missiles from Russia hit Poland. Poland's part of NATO, so NATO's part of US. When someone attacks a NATO country, they attack all countries. So basically, Russia attacked the US, right? Because they're part of NATO. That can affect the market as well. So if that's the case, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. There's the presidency campaigns, there is the missiles that hit Poland, which hit NATO, and then also the recession that's still, going around. So there's a lot of things going on that could affect the market one way or the other. It's really just navigating through the market. This is why I like to scalp rather than taking longer trades. So like for the Forex trade over here, this is another trade that I showed Maddie last night that I was going to call, this odd USD. Like there's some pairs where like nothing happens, which is weird. Nothing, just like literally nothing happens here. I wouldn't say necessarily like completely weird, but there's also, news here for US, but nothing's happened. Not like GA where price kind of spiked around. This is why I prefer to scalp, because you can be in a position that's like massively in profit. Like I was in profit for GA over here. Like we were in profit for like an hour, right? And then all of a sudden price spikes up like, over 100 pips from this point to up here. So this is why I don't really like intraday trading or swing trading too much. I like scalping because, I'm in and out of the markets right away. I know exactly what's going on and I'm fully focused. When you take a swing trade or an intraday trade, a lot of stuff can happen in the market. Like, war could pop off at any moment and then your trade could be totally destroyed. So that's why my main bread and butter is scalping. I like certainty in the market. Like for example, here, if I'm taking a trade, I know if I'm gonna lose or win within the next couple minutes. It's not lingering like in my head, oh, is my trade still doing okay in the next couple hours or so? So, all right, still no entries here, guys. Price is right back at the sessions. We have the Fed speaking in about 2 minutes. I'm not gonna let that stop me from trading. I'm still gonna trade even though the Fed speaks. I will have to be a little careful here around 7 though, because this is an actual news event. For 7 o'clock, let's see, we have business inventories, Fed member Barr speaking, NAHB housing market index. So I think I might trade around 7 too. 7's not too crazy of news events. I mean, 7:30 is not too bad. They're all light and packed, but we'll see. So we will, let's see. Yeah, Peter over here sent me the link for the strikes from yesterday. It says NATO chief says Poland blast likely caused by Ukrainian missile, but not Ukraine's fault. Gotcha. There's a lot of politics going on behind this. I've seen a lot of different analysis regarding this. Even they said blast is likely. They're not for sure that it's from Ukraine, but with that said, I think they're just trying to ease politics and stuff because there's so many other things going on in the market. The US doesn't want to hop into a war, right? So, I don't know how true or how untrue this is, but it is what it is, right? We'll see how it turns out later because this can probably lead to something bigger if it's swept under the rug. So, I mean, it won't really affect us too much because we're scalping. So I'm going to be in and out of my positions before anything could happen. But we'll end up seeing where that takes us. Yeah, exactly. Peter said Ukraine has become the money laundering hub. And DeJohn said that Ukraine's trying to get that money. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But I mean, either or, if market's good, we'll buy. If market's bad, we'll sell. It doesn't really make a difference for us here on US30, whatever has happening in the market. The only thing that can really screw us is if we're in a trade and then something happens that causes like price to spike, right? Otherwise, it doesn't really matter to us too much because if price is below here, perfect, we'll take sells, right? If price is up here, we'll take buys. So it doesn't really affect us too much. So I don't really care where price goes for US30. The only thing that really will be affected are like the longer trades, like a 4-hour and 1-hour trades here for Forex, because you can be in a position for like 16 hours and not hit your TP. And then all of a sudden Trump says something crazy and then it spikes price to your TP or spikes price to your stop loss. So we'll see. Let's see. Question from Talanji. Talanji is asking, does an invalid 10-minute daily mean there's no daily at all, or does the next momentum signal matter? So, I mean, it depends on like which type of entry you're trying to take here. Talanji, there's no overall bias, so it's kind of hard to determine. So let me just go over here and I'll just copy this real quick. And I'll put it over here. So, as you mentioned right here, you're asking whether the momentum signal here matters. If you're doing a normal daily entry, then yes, this doesn't matter because you'll be waiting for the next one. So if you're using the original daily strategy, I mean, there's 2 different ways to apply it. There was one way where you can take it no matter what the type of signal is. Where's the daily at? So yeah, this is the normal daily right here. Right. So if you're following the normal daily, you're waiting for the first valid momentum signal. So for this right here, you just skip this and you look for the sell. However, if you're applying the other one, I don't know if I have the requirements still up here, which is basically the counter trend, right? Which again, you can't apply this right now because there's no real bias in the market. You know, everything here is kind of mixed up. But yeah, so I mean, this is the 3-minute, but it's basically the same thing. So depending on which type of entry you're looking for, Solange, if you're doing the original, then you would wait for the next signal. However, if you're doing the counter trend, then basically you can take an entry off this candle right here. So if this was all bullish and you get a buy signal here and it's invalid, you would still take the buy, right? That's what you would take. However, if this here was all bearish, so say if this is all red and indicating to take a sell, then you would actually enter the sell here. So you wouldn't take the buy, but you would actually take the sell. So, I mean, it depends on how you're applying it, but right now that wouldn't even apply because you can see from right here, there's no direction. So yeah, if you want to wait for it, you can wait for the next momentum signal, and that's going to be for the actual strategy here. Yeah, exactly. Talanji said the trend would add confluence and make it easier. Yeah. I mean, you can't even take the entry here for the normal one because you need to confirm overall bias, right? There's no overall bias here. Fundamentals are down, retail sentiment's up. The short-term trend is all over the place. So either way, there'd be no entry here. That can change though. So just, if you follow it and you get a sell signal down here, then that might change and you can possibly take the sell. But at the moment, there's no entry for the daily. Let's see, Maddie said heavy news day. Maddie also said that the high-low reversal just hit. Yeah, so there was one right here, it looks like. So I wasn't following it, but if you guys were following it right here, there's a high with a red candle, low with the red candle. And I think, or I don't know if that's the one you were talking about, Maddie. There's just too many 637. Oh yeah, from this one earlier. Actually, this wouldn't meet criteria either, Maddie, because it was or I don't know, maybe the candle was different. This one right here, right? Oh yeah, because it spiked up, it spiked down, then it spiked up. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, repainted. That's the tricky thing about the high-low reversal. That's why I don't really like it that much. I got to figure out a way to improve it. I know there's a solution. It's either we have to add the trend or we have to add momentum. But yeah, the high-low reversal is a risky strategy. It's kind of similar to the high-low quick scalp. It just depends on like which one you like to apply. But I do find it a bit risky. Anyways, price is dropping below. If this continues to drop lower, this is completely fine. There's no problem here. We'll just start looking for sells. We were looking for buys for a while, but if price decides to drop below opening price right here, then that's fine with me. We can look for some sells, down here. So not a huge deal. And we'll see where this takes us. All right. Price dropped to opening price. Here we go. As price retested, opening price. So again, another clear example why we avoid these horizontal lines, right? We avoid the horizontal lines because price will come down and test it. And at this point, price can really go either way. So it doesn't matter what color the horizontal line is, whether it's pink, whether it's blue, whether it's red, whether it's green, you want to avoid it. So you can see right here too, price came down, test news price, literally bounces directly off it, and then it breaks right through it. So again, right here, it's testing it. This can easily, correct back up or break right through it again. It's just an area where it becomes uncertain. So that's why you want to skip taking trades around these areas right here. So basically, whenever price is around this red line, pink lines, or a blue line, you want to be careful because you can get caught on the wrong side really easily. Yeah, and the main thing you can look at would be the wick rejections. So whenever you see a wick rejection off it, odds are it's probably going to push you the other way. Here we go as price pushes back up. There's not really much direction here. As you guys can see, price is kind of just going sideways. Let me go over here to the clean chart. I'm going to go and mark up the high low so that you guys can see it better. If you guys are having trouble looking at the direction of price, this will help clear things up for you. So yeah, price is here in a big range. It's not a huge range, but it is actually, it's a pretty huge range. If you measure it right here, let me measure it from this point to here. Yeah, the range here is about 1,500 pips almost. It's all good. It'll start to squeeze as price starts to, bounce back and forth. So price is hitting a high right there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up opening price. And another thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up key times where you can identify direction or price. So here's market open over here at 6:30. This is 7 o'clock. So the first 3 minutes of market, you can see there's no direction set. Price pushed above, came back below for retest, and it kind of just ranged within this area. From 7 to 8, we'll see right here if price will either correct back up or it will come below. All right, so there's a couple different scenarios here that can play out. Price will either push back up and just correct back to this area up here where it was originally. You can see from 6:30 to 7, price just ranged. Price pushed up, came back down, pushed up, and then came right back down to opening price right here. Exactly. Here from 7 to 8, we'll see if price decides to push back up or if it comes back below and establishes a direction. But there's no real direction right here. If you guys can see, price is really just going back and forth. So it's fine with us. I mean, it doesn't really matter where price does decide to go. If price ends up staying above here, then, great. We'll look for retracement and then continuation right there where we can take our entry. We just need price to be away from the sessions, basically any of these horizontal lines. We need price to stay as far away from these areas as possible. Yeah, Maddie said, not going to trade unless it stays up there. There's too much noise between London and open price. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Marco. We also have news right here at 7. So this whole middle area is just not a good area. I'm kind of glad news came up down here because I'm not really trying to be around that area anyways. Basically, this whole area here in the middle is just a dead zone. So thanks, Marco, for that. Got news price right there. So there's nothing for us to take here. I basically want to take entries if they're up here or I want to take entries when they're down here. Right? So either area up here, below here, doesn't matter to me. That's where I want to take entries. I don't want to take entries down the middle because there's just too many red flags right here. I mean, this whole area actually in general. So from this session to opening price, not a good area to trade. You can see again right here, price is reaching the sessions. It's having trouble getting past it. It's rejecting directly off the red line right there. And here we go as price gets manipulated back down. So all I can say, guys, is to be patient and to just be disciplined, right? I know there's a lot of tempting entries here that you guys might want to take, but it's just not a good area to be trading in. So I'm just gonna sit tight and see where this goes. Thanks, Peter. Peter said news is positive and negative. Yeah, so news over here for that 7 o'clock news event was business inventories was positive, NHB market, housing market index was negative. So with that said, there's not really much of a direction here. It kind of pushed up on news and then came right back down. So here goes, price pulls back into this area, not the area we exactly want to be in, but it's all good. We just got to deal with it for now. 7:03 right now, so we still have an hour left till 8. So no need to rush it. Hoping that price just ends up spiking one direction or the other. Volatility is starting to die down right here. See, Patrick said, just a heads up, I have news on the 5:30 candle too. Just a thought, after you indicating the lower area, you said you would look for sells. Yeah, so with that candle right there, Patrick, there was an issue with this 5:30 candle. So I had my news marked up there earlier, but this candle actually opened up here. So if you look at MT4, there was a data gap right here. It's like a big gap in between. Let me just play a little bit. So you can see how this candle here is like kind of by itself. That's because there was a big gap in price. Not a gap in price, but there's a gap in data. So this candle actually started up here. That's why I marked it up at this point, Patrick. TradingView has been having issues with the data, like data missing right here. If you look at MT4, the candle actually was like literally right next to this one. So that's why I marked it up right there instead of down here. I initially marked it down there, but then Maddie kind of told me that it had a gap right there. So I was like, okay, I looked at it and it was actually somewhere around this area. So yeah, no problem. I know it's confusing because, you're not looking at MT4 and TradingView at the same time. But the good thing is, we have other people here in the community that can confirm that. So yeah, I did the same thing. All right, anyways, no entries for us to take here. Price is just bouncing around now. The news price and the sessions, we kind of want price to push away from it. Just like I mentioned, guys, be patient and wait for this confirmation to happen here. So what I need to happen here is I need price to really push up. Like it really needs to push up so that we get that retracement and it continues. If it doesn't push up high enough, we're going to get a sell signal around this area and the buy signal will happen right here at the sessions, which is not going to be beneficial to us, right? We need price to actually be a lot higher. So just got to wait for it to come up. And we'll see where this goes. All right, price is pushing up a little bit. All right, this is perfect. This is what we were looking for. So I want price to push up a little bit higher. I want it to stay up there and then possibly come back down a little bit. All right, some profits from you guys here this morning. So it looks like some of you guys did take the breakout. Tasha over here took the breakout, locked in some nice profit of 289 for the day, basically 300 for the day. So nice work right there, Tasha. We have Seth over here, took the breakout as well, locked in 18,960 for the day. Great work right there, Seth. Rashida over here as well, currently up 392 for the day. Great work, Rashida. All right, solid work, guys. Looking over here, Barack said he took some trades here. So he had a little bit of a loss because he took a trade last night. But he's been hopping into trades here, locked in a total profit of 1,533 for the day. Nice recovery there. So Barack over here started from negative 2,000 to negative 400 to now he's in profit 1,533. and made it all the way up to 2,776. So great recovery right here. Brock, nice recovery. So he killed it. He did pretty good. I mean, and more. Now he's up 5,983. Wow. So Brock here is killing it. You guys can see he's posting profits real time. He made a huge recovery. He was actually down 2,000 from the trade last night, the GA trade. He actually took a wrong lot size. And then now he's back to US30 and he's made it all back. He's now actually, he went from negative 2,000 and now positive 5,900. So great work right there, Brock. This is kind of why I like US30, right? This is my bread and butter. This is why I make most of my profits from US30, because Forex is kind of like a back and forth game, right? It's a ranging asset. So like sometimes you'll have wins, sometimes you'll have losses. But for US30, you can have days like this where you have just straight wins. So he killed it right here and went from negative 200 from the Forex trade we took last night, or 2,000 actually, and now he's up 5,000. Total realized PL is 3,000. He has a trade that's still running right now. So once he closes it, he'll be up like about 6,000. So great work right there, Brock. Jonathan over here, nice work. So the dedication right here, Jonathan is a Amazon driver, right? He's trading right here on the live session from his Amazon truck. So nice, Jonathan. Yeah, hopefully we can catch, at least one scalp here before you got to start driving. So looking at this right here, unfortunately, this is not going to be an entry. The trend meter is red, but the pivots over here aren't a strong downtrend, right? You can see the red pivot still below, so this can easily just shift back up. Also, it's right at news price, so a lot of red flags here. News price right there, news price down here, not an entry we can take for a sell. As I mentioned, this whole area in the middle is not a good area to trade. We need price to stay above here so we can take some buys, or we need price to stay below here so we can take some sells. There's not much movement right here, but I'm expecting at least some movement by like 7:30, hopefully, at least out of this area, because we don't want to take any trades within this middle area where there's a lot of manipulation going on. And Jonathan said he's just in the car right now. Oh, gotcha, Jonathan. Yeah, you're just waiting for it, right? And your shift starts at 8. Patrick over here, he said he took a partial off the breakout. So Patrick over here as well, currently up 700 for the day. Nice work, Patrick. I was tempted to take that when price got close to the sessions. I was like, no, but would have been okay. All right, so Brock said he closed all of his positions. The loss was for 2,821. Profit for the day is 2,162. Yeah, you did enter a lot of times, Brock. Brock said, I regret having to enter so many times. Good thing you bounced though. So like the thing is you did hit your profit here. So that's a good thing. However, you did kind of overtrade here a bit. Not to criticize your positions, but you did overtrade here a little bit. Looks like you took a lot of trades as you just watch price, either move to the upside or move to the downside. Maddie said, no trades for the live yet, just sitting. So Maddie, this is the trade you took last night. So Maddie actually took the GA trade and he was able to move his stop loss and profit and pull out. So he locked in 322 actually. Unfortunately, I took a loss. So I took the opposite of that. I took a negative 300, but Maddie over here actually closed out early. It looks like he was awake when he was able to take the trade and he locked in profit off that. So great work right there, Maddie. If you guys locked in profit, great. If you guys took a loss, it's okay. Just make sure you're using proper risk. So I lost about 3% off that trade. So I think for the week so far, I'm like negative 1% on my Forex account, which is not a big deal. Or actually I might be at break even because we had the win yesterday and then we had the loss today. I had a 1% loss on Sunday. So I'm either like around break even or less than 1% in negative, which is not that bad. I mean, if you base everything off percentage points, you'll know, whether you're down bad or not. If you're down like 1 to 3% or even 5% for the week, that's not a big deal. You can easily bounce back. So it's always important that you guys use proper risk management. because I can take the next trade. If I win 3% on the next trade, I'll be up 2%. So Maddie said high level momentum hit, but too many red flags. Yeah. So unfortunately, we had another entry right here, guys. This would have been a really nice entry that I would have taken, but again, it was at the session, so no trade there. So we had 2 entries come up right here, but it was like right at the red flags. There was one earlier this morning, which was over here, full TP, and another one right here, another full TP. Again, looking at the requirements. First requirement, identify momentum signal. We have a buy signal right here. Identify the zone. Zone would have been down here. This is a high level momentum entry, right? Would have taken the buy right there, full TP. So it's all good. Sisu caught it. So nice work, Sisu. If you guys caught the trade, great. Unfortunately, it's just in this area where I don't want to trade in. So now that price is pushing up, this is great. Hopefully we can find entry above the sessions here. I'm hoping price doesn't just pull back down, because it's just going to be a same, back and forth issue again right here. All right, 7:14 right now. Still got about like 40 minutes or so till 8. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said need a low established above London low. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for, Maddie. If we can get that, then great. Price will continue pushing up higher. Yeah, Brock said yes, need to improve on his risk appetite. It's not good, struggle with it. It's like having a don't care or overconfident attitude is a weird thing. Yeah, and he's aware of it. No, I agree too, Brock. It happens sometimes, right? You get overconfident. But when you take a lot of trades like that, the overconfidence can turn into greed. So it's good to be confident. It's good to be confident, overconfident. But when it turns greedy, that's when you have to like really check yourself. Yeah, C6 said for conservative trading, good call on your part. Yeah, I know. I'm being pretty conservative now. Ever since I started mentoring again, I've really been thinking about my positions, especially for US30. Because typically sometimes I'm kind of like in a whatever attitude where I kind of just take the trade and I don't think about it. But there's a lot of risk involved here, especially if you're taking a negative risk reward type trade for these 1 minutes. You have to be really on point with the types of entries you decide to take. Yeah, Maddie also mentioned, he said mentoring's been helping him a ton too. Yeah, so if you guys want to have a mentoring session, if you guys sat in on the mentoring session yesterday, like if you guys want to see an example of what a mentoring session is like with me for a one-on-one, just watch the mentoring session yesterday with David. So David asked me questions one-on-one, went over things, cleared up, any questions he had. And I'm doing that right now. So if you guys want a mentoring session with me, just reach out to me and we'll set one up. Whether you're using my strategies or whether you're using your own strategy, you need help with improving it. I typically don't have mentoring sessions, but I'm kind of in a mentoring mood right now, where I don't really mind sitting down with you guys, for some time and helping you guys with whatever you guys need help with. So I still have the group mentoring session, but I'm also providing one-on-one mentoring for whoever needs help. So just message me and I'll check my schedule to see if it fits. My schedule is filling up pretty quickly, so just make sure to message me and book in advance. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this for. I guess until I get annoyed, right? Until I get busy and I don't want to do it anymore, then I'll probably take a break from it. But at the moment, I'm accepting all requests. So let's see, there's nothing for us to take right here, right now. Let me check Forex trades real quick. Let me see if there's anything that we can possibly take here. So nothing on the 4-hour. I'm just going to scroll down real quick. What I'm basing all my trades off is going to be the momentum signal, right? So if I see a momentum signal, that's where I'm going to base possible entry. There's an entry here for ODJPY that was running from yesterday, but as I mentioned, market's moving kind of funky, so I'm going to skip out on that. Odd NZD, it's too late. Odd USD, nothing there. CAD CHF. Euro AUD. So as you guys can see, once trading becomes like second nature to you, I don't really have to think. I just look at the trades here and I'm like, okay, is there a trade there? No. My main catalyst is going to be these momentum signals. So if I see prices bearish, I'm looking for a sell signal. If I see prices bullish, I'm looking for a buy signal, right? There's an actual entry right here that's pending. This candle is going to close in about 2 hours. So we still have a lot of time here to look at this, but have that marked up right there. So it's all about repetition, right? I'm looking for the same thing in basically all these trades. So I'll come back to that later. This candle doesn't close for another 2 hours, so we have a lot of time here. NZD USD I'm marked up for Maddie at full TP. This one right here, no entry right now. All right, so nothing there right now. So not too much for us to look at. Back to US30. Seth said it's in such a shady area for price to be in. Yeah, exactly, Seth. He said literally glued to open and news price, all that junk. Yeah, it's not in a good area right here. So I'm waiting for it to push out of it. But we just haven't gotten that push. I was hoping that when the Fed would speak, price would push away, but it didn't really push away. It just pushed it. I mean, it pushed away for like a second. Actually, so the Fed started speaking right here at 650. Seems like the Fed made things worse. So they started speaking right here at 650. They pushed price down, went to opening price, price corrected back up to sessions. And now it's still here. Hasn't really done anything since open. Yeah, Seth said that was his hope too. I think the next Fed member is speaking soon too. Let me check real quick. So we actually have, I don't know who Fed S bar is, but the testimony is going on right now at 7 o'clock. Fed Waller is going to speak at 11. So we don't have any more Fed members speaking anytime soon. Fed Williams is probably still speaking because it's only 7:20. It's only been like about 30 minutes since he started speaking. But yeah, other than that, not really much going on. Maddie said, looks like 7:30 news price will be in the same area. Yeah, I actually don't mind that. I actually want the news price to stay down here before it pushes up. So I'm kind of waiting for news price to get stuck around this area. Once it gets stuck here, then it'll be fine to push out of it. So I think this will probably be beneficial for us. Let's see. Yeah, Maddie said might be ranging until 7:30. Hopefully news can push around to the upside. Yeah, same here. So I actually want price to stay within this area for the next 10 minutes because I want it to actually close within here so we don't have any issues about up top or even below. Price is still bullish right here. So trend meter is green, pivots are still angling up. They haven't spread out yet, but they're still angling up. So kind of just waiting for this here. Yeah, Maddie said it seems like market's been trying to lure in retail Monday through Wednesday and stop them out during the end of the week. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Maddie. This is how the market's kind of been for the past couple of weeks. If you guys have noticed, it's kind of just going sideways for a bit. Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, you start to get these big pushes. Let's check sentiment real quick. Sentiment is now at 69%. So let's just get another review of where price is currently at. Sentiment is 69%. Fundamentals are currently, I mean, they're not anywhere, right down the middle. So this has changed by 1%. This has not changed very much. It's right down the middle. It's neutral at this moment. Looking over here at the 4 hour. 4 hours still bullish. 1 hour still bearish. 30 minutes still neutral. 15 minutes neutral. and the 10-minute is bearish. So there's just really no much direction here. So here's another thing that I also discussed with David yesterday. So David was asking, if this is even relevant for us. It really isn't, to be honest, unless it's like really one-sided. If this is all bullish, right? If this is all bullish, 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 then yeah, it's going to mean something. But right now, it's pretty mixed, right? So this doesn't really matter to us because we're on the short term, or we're trading on the short time frame. What really matters here is what the trend is on the 1 minute. So when price is above the pivots up here, then it's bullish. If price is below here and the trend meter is red, then it's bearish. That's where it matters, because you're looking for trades for buys or you're looking for trades for sells here. But realistically, this overall direction confluence doesn't really matter on the 1 minute. It does help with confidence, when you're looking for a trade, because if you get a buy entry and everything's bullish, then you're going to feel good about taking the trade. So this is just as a confluence to help with you trusting the move or not. Like if everything here is bullish and I'm looking for a sell, and it looks like an iffy sell, I'm probably going to skip that sell. But if it looks like a good sell and it's still bullish here, I'm still going to take it. So, just keep that in mind. Yeah, Maddie said it mess up traders so they're not fully focused for next week, which is also a holiday week. Yeah, we're officially in holiday season, guys. So last week was a holiday week. We had Veterans Day. This week we don't have a holiday week, but we have, an in between. Next week is Thanksgiving. And then we got Christmas after that. So this year's flying by. We're getting close to the end of the year. Hopefully a lot of you guys have made a lot of profit this year. You guys are at least profitable. If you guys aren't, it's completely fine, right? If you guys are new, or if you guys just had a rough patch, it's all good. I mean, sometimes people have bad years, whether it's believable or not. People will have good days, good weeks, good months, good years. Sometimes we'll have an entirely bad year, right? But that could be the turning point. Like if you make a lot of mistakes one year, hopefully by next year, you'll actually learn from those mistakes and you'll be very profitable the next year. Because it was kind of like I flipped a switch for myself. Yeah, like Maddie said, you got to stick it through. Like for me, I think like 2 years before I started, this group, I wasn't doing so well. I was kind of back and forth. I'd have like a good year, or like not a good year, but a decent year. And then I'd have a horrible year where I pretty much lost, all the profit I made. I made good profit in the beginning of the year, then I lost towards the end. But then the year after that, I kind of just fixed my mistakes and now I'm pretty consistent. I think having a schedule is what really helps too. Before I used to trade all day. Now I just trade mainly US session, and then I trade Forex at night sometimes, but it's minimal risk for Forex. So it's not a big deal. It's a $10,000 account. I'm risking like 1%. So I'm making like a couple $100 per trade. So it's not really, doesn't really mean much, because it's a give and take game. I'll win a trade, I'll be up like $300. I'll lose a trade, be down like $100. Win a trade, back up 300. So it's definitely a slow process compared to US30, where it's just mostly wins. Looking back at results for this week, like I showed Maddie our live trading results, we actually had a pretty good year. So I'm just looking over here. So these are the trades for these are just live trades. So like this is only the live sessions. This doesn't count as like anything else. These are like the trades that are documented and the ones we actually took. So we're actually up 144 wins and only 17 losses for like the whole year, right? So if you're basing that off like the 10-30 split, so like for example here you have 1,000, or yeah, you have 144 wins, multiply it by 10 because it's like, or 100. So you basically made like 144,000 pips or whatever. And then you have 17 losses. You multiply that by 300 because, if you have a loss, you're going to lose 300 pips. That's how much loss you have. So like realistically, 14,400 pips minus 5,100, you're still in some heavy profit for the entire year. So it's, I mean, it's been a good year, and this is just live session trades. So it's been a pretty solid year. I mean, the past couple of months have been kind of slower because we're not taking the breakouts as much. I know earlier in the year, so like January, February, March, April, May, June, we took, or basically January till May, we took like a lot of breakouts and daily entries here. So we made a lot more profit. Throughout the summer, we started taking smaller trades, just like these 1 minute scalps. So the pips here aren't that big, but the thing with these trades here is that it's based off the wins, right? So pips don't really matter, because as long as you're using proper risk, you're going to be risking about the same amount, 1% to 2% per trade. So overall, so I might have to change this a little bit. So I know right here I have everything based off pips. I'm probably gonna have to base everything off percentage points. So I'll have like a 200K account, 100K account, 50K account, so that you guys can see, what kind of profits you can make off of those types of accounts. So, all right, let me see if there's anything else over here that I'm missing. So still no entry here. We have news coming up in about a minute. This is fine. This is exactly where we want price to be, because we want the news candle to be down here. Question from Barack. Barack said, if you allow me to have a question, if you have time to attend, it sounds easy to myself, but I don't do it so well on it. How do you set up targets? Whether it's, yeah, so Barack's basically asking, how do you set up a target, whether it's percentage or money amount? I never do it by money amount. I just do it by trades. So not really even by percentage either, Barack. The thing with me is I'm looking for 1 or 2 trades a day, right? That's my goal. 1 trade is already my goal. And I think that's going to make it a lot easier for you versus looking for percentage points or money amount. Because the thing with the percentage points is that works, but it's going to be harder to follow, right? If you can just follow how many wins you have, you can base your percentage off that. The money is going to be different. So you should never base it off money in my perspective, because if you base your goals off profit targets for the day, then you're going to get greedy, right? So say, for example, you close a trade early, or you have some slippage, and then you end up locking like 800 or 300 instead of your full 1,000, right? If you do that, you're going to revenge trade because you want to make that 1,000 for the day. So instead of just taking that 1 trade and being happy, you're going to want to take a risky trade, and then you're going to end up losing, and then you're going to end up with a lot more negative than you would have just closed out with some profit for the day. So for me personally, I don't base anything off profit goals. I base things off just wins, because I already have an idea of like how much I'll make per trade, right? If I have 1 win, I already know I'm going to make 1,000. If I have 1 loss, I'm going to lose 3,000. I don't really lose very often, so it's not a big deal, because those wins are going to outweigh the losses. So does that make sense, Barack? For you, I could already tell it, the way that you're trading today, you're being greedy today. You're basing everything off profits. So like looking at this right here, you're like, okay, you see the numbers add up, and yeah, it's good because you're actually hitting your trades, but this isn't like ideal, right? This doesn't happen every single day. Today you were just in the flow of things, and your trades were hitting. But if you do this every day, this is probably not going to be the same result. So yeah, Brock said solid, like 1 entry if I win, close. If I lost, wait for tomorrow. Yeah, exactly, Brock. So for me personally, I take as many trades as I see, but then if I lose a trade, I'm pretty much done for the day. Because if I lose a trade, that's usually because my trade psychology is screwed up, or if the market's just not moving smoothly, right? All right, so we have a possible entry right here for a buy, guys. If this closes, this is going to be our high-low momentum pivot scalp. Never mind, there's no entry here because it's touched this candle has touched the sessions right here, so it invalidates the entry. So I'm hoping this doesn't close with a buy signal at all. I hope it just disappears, because then we have to wait for the next one. So unfortunately, this is not going to be an entry here. I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it because I can't go against my my rules here. It touched the session, so it makes it an invalid trade because it's a red flag. So I'm going to sit on it. I'll watch it, but I'm going to sit on it, hoping this candle doesn't close, but it looks like it's going to. Yeah, so I'm not in it. I'll just follow it. So the reason why this wasn't a valid trade is because price touched the sessions right here. Just going over the requirements, we have a identify momentum signal, buy signal right there. Draw a zone at the high low before momentum. Actually, I take this back. This is not an entry. The reason why it's not an entry is because the high low did not test. I thought it did, but it didn't. So this candle is way up here. This candle has to be rejecting off the high low right there. So there's actually no entry here. Although it looks like it would have hit if it was an entry. It's a pivot scalp, but it's not a high low momentum. So yeah, it's gotta wait for this to push up a little higher. So still no official entries for the live session today. Just pretty much waiting. Yeah, I took out the high right here. This is actually a high-low scalp. So there's a lot of entries that you guys could have taken here. This would have been a momentum. This would be a pivot scalp entry, not a high-low momentum, but just a normal pivot scalp. There's also a high-low scalp right here. This candle broke and closed past this high. So this would have been an entry there, full TP. It's actually another one right here too. It's pretty much knocking out the highs right now. Another possible entry here for a high-low scalp. I'm not going to take it. It looks a little overextended at the moment. Main strategy I'm looking to apply would be this right here. I'm going to base pretty much all of our, the new course revamp is going to be based off this. So I'm just going to be focused on this so that you guys can kind of get acquainted with it. If you guys are familiar with the other strategies, feel free to add whatever you want to add to it, whether it be another strategy. But for now, I'm just going to focus on this. All right, Brock, we'll see you tomorrow. Let's see. Patrick said SR just hit. So there's another SR rejection entry over here as well. Nice, yeah. So there's a lot of entries here. As you guys can see, I mean, we have a lot of strategies that you guys can apply. I'm mainly focusing on this though, so I'm not really paying attention to the other ones. But if you guys want to apply any of the other strategies, you guys are more than welcome to apply whatever you guys like. It's just really up to your preference. So right here, there was actually an SR rejection scalp. Patrick just mentioned. So 1 minute SR rejection, you can see right here for a buy, confirmed trading direction of trend, it's bullish, bottom wick rejection off the zone, confirmed trading in the direction of momentum, buy signal right there. You would take the buy right here, and there you go, full TP. So there's a lot of entries here. There's a high-low scalp, pivot scalp, SR rejection scalp. There's actually a V1 right here too, V1. So within this area right here, there's probably like 5 or 6 entries you could have taken. So if you guys know the strategies which are available to all you guys are more than welcome to apply them. But for me now, I'm personally just focused on this because I need to revamp the course and I want to make it easy for you guys where you guys can just follow one strategy, which would be this one right here. So basically on the live sessions, this is going to be the main thing I'm looking for. However, there's going to be a lot of multiple different entries that you guys can see on the chart here. If I wasn't on live, I could probably take all of them because I can see them without really thinking. But on the live session here, I kind of have to explain to you guys, how everything is applied, what's taken, what's not taken, what's avoided. And it's kind of difficult for me to do that while looking for entries. Yeah, Maddie also mentioned a high-low quick scalp just hit too. So there's a high-low quick scalp right here. The low over here got repainted, so that's okay. Yeah, this is what Maddie saw. So there was a low right here, and then on the next candle, Maddie actually took this for a high-low quick scalp for a full TP. So I'm missing on a couple trades here, but it's okay. You know, I don't mind it. I just want to make sure that you guys are zoned in so that you guys can catch the actual entries that come up. So sorry that I'm missing trades here. It's, you know, it'll happen. These trades come up too fast. Got the sell signal right there. That's perfect. Now I'm looking for the buy signal here. If I can get a buy signal here, then we can take a high-low momentum pivot scalp. I'm just hoping the buy signal doesn't come up right here, though. This is the main thing. Still got 40 seconds left on this right here. Yeah, Maddie said there was another high-low quick scalp here, but it was on sessions. All right, just want to make sure there's no buy signal here that closes. If this doesn't close, then this is fine. It'll establish this as a low. Leave a zone right there. If you get a buy signal following it, possible entry for a high-low momentum. All right, perfect. We got the low right there established. I just need price to push up. If price can push up, then we'll have possible entry for high-low momentum. I want price to push back up from here. Never mind. And this is like such a crappy area. It's not a good area to trade in. It's back to where the sessions is right here. I kind of wanted to stay above it, but now we're kind of stuck with this area right here. This is, I mean, it's not a horrible thing, but it's also not a good thing because if we're too close to here, if price ever comes and touches it, then we're not going to be able to take our trade because it's going to invalidate it due to the red flag. All right, so I kind of want price to push up from here now. Ideally, no new lows get established. I want this to be the low here. I want price to push back up. And then once it's around this area over here, like past this area, provide a buy signal, right? I don't want a buy signal down here because if we get a buy signal right here, it's just going to screw with our entry. We're not going to be able to take the entry at that point. Nice. So CSUK over here is up 4,350 for the day. Nice work, CSUK. Maddie over here as well. Maddie's currently up almost 1,000 for the day. So great work right there, Maddie. And Maddie over here again, 893. So great work, guys. Overall, pretty good profit for you guys. Still waiting for my entry here at 7:40. So we still got about 20 minutes till 8. All right, this isn't a good area for us. Back to news price right here. Price came down and tested it just like Maddie anticipated. The only problem here is that our zone is down at this point. So we're kind of screwed again because we need price to reject off the zone, right? The only way price will reject off the zone is if we get caught over here at the sessions. So we're pretty much screwed, but we'll see. Hopefully price will push up. So this is kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm looking for price to push back up and then establish some high lows from that point. I want price to push up, retrace, continue up higher from there. This is what I want so that we can get entry right here without touching the sessions. I don't know if we'll get it, but we'll see. All right, we got the buy signal here. This again would be a possible entry, but it's right at the session, so I don't think I'm going to take it, unfortunately. And it's perfect setup. It's just right at the sessions. So this setup it lines up with what we're looking for. It's just this red lines right here. So it just doesn't meet criteria. And price has been at the sessions like literally the entire day. So like we're for the session at least, like price never really pulled away from the sessions over here. It kind of just stayed within this area. All right, so this is the entry here. I'm not taking it, of course, because it's right at the sessions. It's not a good area. Price might come back and retest. And it looks like it's going to hit TP. Yep. And there we go. It's also a big kennel too. So another missed entry there because of the sessions. I mean, this is a tight entry here. If you didn't like, you probably wouldn't get pulled out at TP. You'd have to pull out manually because it came up, hit TP, and then came right back down. It's all good though. All right, let's go for another attempt here. Let's get this high established, let price drop below, provide me a sell signal so that I can get a buy right back above. Yeah, man. So we already got screwed by like 3 trades. We missed 3 trades here because of the sessions. There was one right here, solid entry, another one right here, solid entry, and again right here, another one. But this one is really tight. So I'm kind of glad we didn't take this trade because it doesn't look like it would have hit TP. You'd have to cover the spread right there. So you'd be in some drawdown at this moment if you didn't pull out at the proper timing. So this is one of the good reasons why we skipped the trade at the sessions, because look how price came right back down. Price came up, came right back down. And if you didn't close out when you were supposed to, you'd be in some massive drawdown right now. Yeah, Maddie said trades that barely hit TP seem iffy. Most of our trades blast right through. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Maddie, 100%. All right, so here we go back into this mess. This is not an entry for a sell. Trend isn't for a sell either. So I mean, that way it wouldn't fit the criteria. All right. Yeah, certain said big range. I'm out. Yeah, it's getting close to 8. It's 7:45. I'll probably hang around with you guys a little after 8 to see if there's anything that really pushes out. All right, Sir, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, so I'll hang around with you guys a little bit after 8. I typically get off by 8, but we'll just sit around and see if something comes up. Because price hasn't done anything, throughout the entire session. So typically when this happens and market's just going sideways the whole session, it generally will start moving at least a little bit after 8. So. All right, so you can see here that the range is actually getting a bit tighter. I mean, it's still in a range like as it's been pretty much the entire session. It's just so if I just draw this range right here, you guys can see the actual fake outs. So from market open or from 7 o'clock. So I drew this range right here, and now you guys can see how price faked out. Right there, right there, down here, down here. So price just keeps ranging around this area, but it's faked out a bunch of times back and forth. Here we go, as price pushes back up. So this still wouldn't be an entry. So like, for example, here, we're looking for a buy here. Either way, if we get a buy, we're not going to be able to take the trade because you can see how this candle here is, I mean, it's still blocking it out, right? So there's nothing for us to take here. So even if we get a buy signal here, it would have to bounce off this low, this zone, and the sessions is like literally right there. So either way, for any way for the price to touch the zone right here, it's going to have to touch the sessions, which is not going to work for us. But I'll hang out with you guys. Let's see. This is kind of what I'm hoping. Best case scenario, price pushes above, comes back below, and then we'll be so far from the sessions here where we can take a trade at this point. This is what I'm hoping for right here. All right. Still nothing here. Let me check the Forex pairs real quick, see if there's anything for us to take here. Clean this up. Actually an odd CAD position right there. CHF. I'm kind of iffy about these AUD pairs because of the trade we took yesterday. AUD's been kind of iffy this week. What if this trade's still running? This trade's been running for a long time now. It's not really much of a clear direction. There's a lot of entries here. A lot of possible entries here for get back to US30 real quick. Nothing going on there, so we're not missing anything. Just gonna mark these up real quick. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the GBP pairs are moving kind of weird. So here's one thing that I talked with Maddie. I don't really like looking at all these Forex pairs. So I think what our main focus might be for these longer trades might be the DXY. I noticed that you can trade the DXY on FTMO, and the DXY is actually pretty accurate. So there's a trade here that's currently running right now. Actually, never mind, that's not running. Like this one over here, right? If you guys follow the DXY, this is actually a really smooth pair, not really a pair, but it's an asset. So full TP off that right there. This is a dollar index. You're just trading the dollar. It's not paired against anything. So when it's not pegged against anything, it actually makes it easier because you're not really comparing it to anything. You're kind of just trading it as is, like US30. So again, right here, another full TP. So 2 back-to-back wins right there. No entry there. Bunch of entries right here, full TPs, DXY. This right here looks like it would have been a loss, just one loss though. So you have like 4 or 5 wins here, one loss, win right there. Spike right here, maybe a loss. I don't know. If these are all, so if you take all these trades at like 3%, you'd be in profit because you have more wins than losses. So this is like a lot easier. I was going to try to trade other indexes or other currency indexes as well, but I don't see EXY, like AXY. These all work really well too, but I just don't see them on FTMO. DXY is actually allowed on FTMO. So that's why I'm kind of inclined to take these entries here, because if you just look back, I mean, it's pretty lucrative how accurate these hit, right? Actually, no entry there. Like the high-low momentum is really, really good on DXY. and you'll get at least like a couple entries a week. So I mean, if you take like, 3 to 5 trades a week, these trades are like almost guaranteed to hit. So I think I'm going to start looking at these. So for the most part, and most of you guys are on FTMO, most brokers carry DXY as well. So you can see here, it's probably like, I mean, I just went over a couple trades here. We probably made about maybe 20 wins and 2 losses. So, if you do the basic math on that. So say, for example, you're doing 20 wins times 3% per trade. That's a 60% gain. You have 2 losses times 3, it's 6%. So 60 minus 6%. It's 54% gain within like a couple of weeks. So, yeah, if I see a DXY entry, I'm probably just going to base my signals off this. I think I'm just going to focus on 2 assets, maybe DXY and then US30, right? That's pretty much US30 for the lives and then DXY for the signals. Because it's just too much work going over these Forex pairs. I got a huge watch list here. I mean, they're all good trades, but it's just the watch list is too huge. I hate going through every single pair and like analyzing everything. Like for example, here I was looking at odd CAD. This here is going to be way too much work for me to go and like analyze this with all the AUD pairs and then looking over at all the CAD pairs when I can just look at DXY. And I'm like, okay, if I see a sell entry here, great, I'll take the trade. So, I mean, even the pivot scalp entry looks fine here too. So we'll see. But yeah, that's probably like, yeah, exactly right, Maddie. It's huge. I mean, you guys could probably pass FTMO just taking DXY trades. The only problem here is I've never traded DXY, so I got to figure out what the lot size is for DXY. So probably something I'll play around with. Damn, so here he goes. Price waterfalls down. And we can still look for sells here. But here you go, we're right at open. All right, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said US30 is dumping. It's almost 8. He's out. So he'll see us tomorrow. So all right, Maddie, we'll see you here tomorrow. It's getting close to 8. I mean, I'll see if I see anything coming up, guys, but if not, it's okay. This will just be a day without any trades or official trades, I guess. There was a lot of unofficial trades here that hit. But I don't mind conserving my capital. So if anything, I might just set it out as well. The one thing that I'm kind of interested in is DXY. I want to see if there's any other entries here or any other time frames where entries can be identified. I got to figure out how these pips are, measured as well. Sideways movement. A lot of entries here. Probably just stick to the 1 hour though. I think the 1 hour is safer and it's easier. All right, back to US30. Looks like price dropped a whole bunch right here and then it just died down. Price did waterfall down here a bit. 1,000 pips. And then now it's pretty much just flat. Here's a possible daily entry. Here we go with price back at open. All right, guys. So it's getting close to 8. I was hoping price would be away from like this whole area of like news price, session and opening price. The price actually went right to the middle. So as we get closer to 8, I mean, price is actually in a worse area than it was earlier. Earlier price was up here, so it was okay. Price could push away and go up. But now price is in a worse area because it's right down the middle right here. So there's like really nothing we can take at this moment. It went from bad to worse because the conditions here were kind of okay up here. But now that price is down here, I don't think price is going to push out of it anytime soon. So we're a little screwed at the moment until you know it ends up going one way or the other. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I was hoping to stay on until after 8 and see if we can find an entry, but it doesn't look like we're going to get one anytime soon. Unfortunately, price is just way too far out. I'll try to hang on a little longer and see if there's anything, but I don't think there's going to be anything for us to take. It's in a worse area because now we have, so now that price is right here down the middle, we have all of these sessions right here. So these are areas that we can't trade, right? Can't trade here, can't trade here, can't trade here, and we can't trade down here either. So it's not good at all. There's no areas for us to take anything. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we'll wrap this up for the day. I don't really see anything for us to take here. Maddie over here posted his, nice. So Maddie said for the past week, his consistency has been on fire. So you can see right here, pretty much from November 10th up until today, the 16th, all wins every single day. So this is a consistency that you guys need, guys. You guys need to have that consistency where you'll have green days every day. If you have a red day, then that's probably your sign to call it a day, right? At the moment, there's nothing for us to take, guys. It's about to be 8 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions, always feel free to message me on Telegram or email me at sean@kodikaitrades.com. If you guys are new here and you guys want access to the indicators and the strategies, just go on the website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Pretty simple. It's just the name of the company, .com. And you can get access to everything here. If you guys want to sit down for a mentoring session with me, whether you guys are a member or even not a member, I'm willing to mentor whoever wants help. I probably won't be able to teach you very much if you're not using my strategies, because these are the only strategies I apply. So if you're looking for patterns, I can't really help you with that, but I can help you identify things better. So if you can show me what you're applying, I can show you how these indicators here will help make your analysis better and provide you better entry points. Because I pretty much created these indicators and strategies from a long trial and error process, right? I've been trading for about 11 years now. So I created these indicators because these indicators cover pretty much all points of trading that you need. I have indicators that identify trend. I have indicators that identify points of rejection. I have indicators that identify red flags, when to avoid trades, indicators when to identify momentum, when to enter trades, and etc. So, all right, guys, other than that, I think we're going to wrap this up for the day. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, price can be stuck down here in the middle. So I don't see any point of entry anytime soon. So if you guys don't have to trade, I'll just sit out the rest of the day. If you guys want to trade, just be careful trading around this area here. I'd probably wait for it to push away from news price up here, news price down here, and opening price down here as well. Not to mention the sessions. The sessions have adjusted. So earlier we had the London high over here, but now that it's 8 o'clock, the London high has adjusted. So it's adjusted to yesterday's London high, not the prior days. So yeah, if you guys want to keep trading, just be careful, stay away from these horizontal lines here. But other than that, we'll pick back up tomorrow. So it's Wednesday today. We have 2 more days of trading left. Pretty much all wins for our live trades for this week. So it's been a good week so far. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. So if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow.